Hi, my name is Mitch O'Donnell. I am the Training and Organization Development Coordinator for Granite Construction. We are housed under the Human Resources title, and I'm going to tell you about how I got into human resources with my degree in psychology.
Why did you decide to major in psychology?
At first, psychology was something that I was able to use in my personal life. I was able to relate with people better. I was able to get a better understanding of how people work and how their minds work. So for me, it was kind of an easy choice. I originally wanted to work with athletes and become a sports psychologist, but things changed quickly as I realized there's a lot less job opportunity in the world of sports psychology, and human resources was always something that kind of popped into my head as I was getting recruited by different companies. So I stuck with the human resources field, and so far I've loved it.
How do you use your psychology skills in the HR field?
You know, a lot of psychology is understanding why people think the way they do and being able to relate. I use that every day because I work with a lot of different people in my company. We are construction, so we have a lot of people that are hard-nosed. So being able to use what I know based on cognitive capabilities and different aspects of how people are relating to their everyday life and work, I have to go through and be able to change my perspective on people every day. And every person I talk to is different, and I talk to hundreds of people a week. So it's always something that psychology for me was a broad understanding of how people really work, and I've been able to use it in that way.
How did you end up working in HR?
Yeah, so I ended up working in HR through an internship. I had the idea that I wanted to get into HR. Originally, it was to get into recruiting. I had an internship at a resort, a hotel resort at a golf course, and I worked in their human resources office for a month, and that was really what kicked it off. Right after that, I started looking for jobs in HR, and my first job out of college was actually a human resources coordinator for Sierra Tahoe Ski Resort, which was quite the experience.
What exactly is your job description and what are your daily tasks?
My job description, it started with keeping records of all of our trainings. It started with keeping all of the trainings that we're going to be doing on site with all of the instructors and making sure all of our materials are there, all of the vendors' materials were there, and really creating relationships with vendors that we use on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. So my daily tasks are I run reports for all of the computer-based trainings that we do. I take all of the evaluations that we've put together for all of our trainings, keep record of those. I am constantly working with different hotels and other more leadership style companies because we do a lot of leadership training now. A big part of where my job role is headed is actually being kind of the keeper of all of our leadership trainings. Now, we are a nationwide company, so I'm working with people in Seattle, I'm working with people in San Diego, I'm working with people in Chicago, New York, Florida, Texas. My job is changing. It's always something new, but my daily tasks are pretty close to the same.
What do you enjoy about your position in HR?
I really enjoy being able to work with a lot of different people. Because we are such a large company, I am able to work with our finance people, I'm able to work with our field ops people, I'm able to work with our materials. So being able to work with a very diverse group is really what makes this fun for me.
Is graduate school or any other training to get into the HR field required or recommended?
Required, no. It's certainly recommended to have a graduate degree, a master's degree, whether it's in business administration or it's in human resources or organizational leadership or There's a lot of different certificates that are out there. The two that I would suggest are the PHR and the SPHR. So those are basically the PHR is anyone from 0 to 3 years of human resources experience, and it just gives you a full overview and understanding of what really goes on in the HR world, specific to state and local laws. The SPHR goes much more into depth and is more on a global scale. That's for anyone who's had anywhere between 5+ years of HR experience. So I would suggest getting the PHR certificate and then your SPHR. But are they required? No. Highly recommended.
How imperative do you find an internship in HR to getting an entry-level HR full-time job?
I think an internship it's extremely helpful. It really gets you, it immerses you in the actual act of filing the paperwork, pulling up new hires, making sure all the data entry is correct. You do tax forms for them. You got to make sure people have the right information and they're legal to work. There's a lot of things that go into it. So it is very, very vital. But I think that anyone who has a good personality and understands and can learn quickly, anybody can go into an entry-level HR field, and I think they can be extremely successful given the right personality and work ethic.
What kind of growth can someone expect within the HR department?
There's a lot of growth and there's a lot of movement. HR is such a growing field in itself. You've got your benefits department, you've got your compensation department, you've got your recruiters. So it depends on where you want to go, and it depends on how hard you want to work to get there. There is a lot of movement that's available. There's a lot of movement.
Is there any other personal advice you would like to give to psychology majors?
I would say network. Network, network, network. It's all about who you know, and the more people that you know, the better off you're going to be with them helping you out. Because if you don't know somebody, they're not going to be able to help you out. The one thing that I tell students as I go and do recruiting events for our leadership programs is talk to everybody. Because if you don't talk to them, they won't know who you are when you submit your resume. It's a lot easier to put a face to a name when you've seen that face.